Very good morning to everyone. And friends, I have a small question for you today, and I want you to about it seriously. Every single morning, when you wake up, before you even have had your chai, how many problems have you already begun solving? The geyser that stopped working last night, the tiffin for three people with three different food preferences, or the traffic you're calculating in your head before you have even stepped out, or the WhatsApp message from your boss at 8 a.m. that needs a tactful reply. So you're already solving problems, all of you, every single day. But here is what most people never realize. The very skill you use to navigate your daily life is the single most valued skill in any career, any profession, and any role anywhere in the world. So today we are going to talk about that skill and about how deliberately developing it can change the trajectory of your career and, of course, your life. So let's begin with this opening thought. The bigger the problems you solve, the more valuable you become. Let me say that again. The bigger the problems you solve, the more valuable you become. See, think about what that means. Not the longest hours, not the most impressive degree, not the most polished LinkedIn profile. The size of the problem you solve determine the size of the value you bring. And that is very freeing thought because problems, unlike degrees, unlike contacts, unlike luck, are available to everyone every single day. So let me ask you something. When you visit a doctor and you pay them their fees, what exactly are you paying for? The medicines? No, you buy those separately. The hospital building? No, that is overhead. You're paying for one thing, their ability to look at your problem, your symptoms, your history, your confusion, and find the solution. The same is true for a lawyer. You're not paying for the paperwork. You're not paying for someone who can untangle your legal problem. The same is true for a good cook in a wedding. You're not paying for the gas they use. You're paying for someone who can manage 500 plates, three dietary restrictions, and a last minute request for extra gulab jamun without anyone even noticing there was a problem. So every single profession, without exception, rewards the person who solves problems best. The question is, are you consciously developing that skill? So let me tell you about Deepa. She's a school teacher in Nagpur. She has been teaching class 7 for 11 years. She's good at her job. But what makes Deepa remarkable is not teaching, it's how she thinks. Last year, the school noticed that exam scores in a subject were consistently lower than in other subjects. The other teacher said, ये तो हमेशा से ऐसा है. ये syllabus ही tough है. And then moved on. Deepa did not move on. She stayed curious. She spoke to her students. She found out that the textbook used terminology that rural students found confusing. The examples were all urban. She quietly redesigned her lesson plans, replaced abstract examples with ones from students' own villages and farms, and resubmitted her approach to the principal. Within 1 year, her class had the highest scores in that subject across the district. Was Deepa smarter than her colleagues? Maybe not. Was she a better problem solver? Absolutely. And today, she has been invited to train other teachers across 3 districts, not because of her experience, but because of her approach. And now, some of you at home might be thinking, but Kapilji, I don't have a career. I manage a household. Friends, managing a household is problem solving at an Olympic level. And I say that without any exaggeration. Think about Saroj. Her daughter in law has a nut allergy. Her husband is diabetic. Her teenage grandson eats only three things. And guests are arriving for lunch in 2 hours. Severe problem. But Sarojji does not panic. She does not complain. She opens the fridge, does a rapid mental inventory, makes three separate dishes that satisfy all conditions, and has the table set with 10 minutes to spare. You know what a management consultant would call that? Constraint based problem solving under time pressure. You know what Sarojji calls it? Aaj ka khana. The skill is the same. The only difference is that Sarojji never got a certificate for it. But I'm telling you today, that skill, made conscious and applied deliberately, is worth more than most degrees. And the gentleman, meet Prakash Bhai. He runs a small hardware shop in Indore, has been running it for 19 years. Good man, honest business, regular customers. But 3 years ago, a big home improvement chain store opened 2 kilometers away. Large inventory, flashy lighting, air conditioning, and Prakash Bhai started to worry. His first instinct, ये बड़े लोग आके हमारा धंधा बर्बाद कर देंगे. His wife's instinct, अरे कुछ करो, बैठ के रोना बंद करो. So Prakash Bhai finally sat down and asked himself the right question. Not why is this happening to me, but what can I do that they cannot? The answer came quickly. The big store could not offer what Prakash Bhai could: personalized advice, same day delivery within the locality, and a relationship built over 19 years. He leaned into exactly that. He started offering free home visits for small repairs. He trained his nephew to handle WhatsApp orders. Today, 3 years later, his revenue is higher than it was before the big store arrived. Same problem, different question, completely different outcome. So, what is the shift we need to make? It's beautifully simple. Most people, when they face a problem, ask, why is this happening to me? Problem solvers ask, what can I do about it? That one shift from why to what is the difference between a victim and a leader, between someone who waits and someone who acts. And the people who get three or dare consistently do these things, these three things. They stay calm because panic is the enemy of solutions. A clear head find answers that a panicked mind never will. Number two, they stay curious. They ask questions before they jump to conclusions. They treat the problem like a puzzle, not a punishment. And then they stay solution focused, not fault focused, not complaint focused, not whose fault is this focused, solution focused. So, problem solving is not a talent you're born with, it's a habit you build one decision at a time. So, I want to give you 2 minutes right now, just 2 minutes for your reflection exercise today. Think of one challenge in your life at this moment. Just think about it. Could be at work, could be at home, could be a relationship, could be a financial decision you have been avoiding. It can be anything. Yes, think about it. Then take out your diary or your notebook and write down three things. One, the problem in one clear, honest sentence. No drama, just the facts. I'll give you 30 seconds to note down the problem. The number two or three possible solutions without judging them. Write them all down, even the ones that seem obvious or imperfect. You might just write a word to get a clue so that you can remember, or a phrase. Complete sentence is not needed, but write them down. Two or three possible solutions. So we have identified the problem, and now we have identified two or three possible solutions, right? And number three, your best next step. One small concrete action you can take in the next 48 hours. Of course, you have the solutions. You know what can be done immediately. And that exercise, problem, possible solution, next step, is what every great problem solver does. Naturally, habitually, almost without thinking. You just did it consciously. And that is how the habit begins. So, friends, I want to leave you with a thought that I believe very deeply. Life does not stop giving us problems. That is not going to change. The traffic will still be there. The difficult colleague will still send that email. The geyser will break again. The guest will arrive unannounced. But what can change is how you meet those problems. Whether you meet them with panic or with clarity, with complaint or with curiosity, with why me or with what next, the most valuable people in any room, at work, at home, in any community, are not the ones with the most experience or most education. They are the ones who, when a problem walks in, do not flinch. They lean forward, they get curious, and they get to work. So, a river does not stop at a rock and weep. It finds a way around. So, be the river. Every obstacle you have ever faced has already proved you're capable of this. You're still here. That itself is evidence enough. So this week, when you face any problem, big or small, pause for 10 seconds before you react and ask yourself, what can I do about this? Write down three possible solutions, choose one, act on it, and do that every single time. And within a month, you'll not recognize how differently you think. So problems are not in your way. They are your way. So with that thought, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kapilji.